Hello and welcome to Contempt. In today's episode, me and Brandon talk a lot about being a creator and how cancerous that is. Also, we talk about Brandon's D&D stuff and also his live play, whatever that is. Actually, I forgot the term. If that's the wrong term, cut this out. All in today's episode. Fucking episode 1 of Content. Welcome to the podcast. Hello, I am Grant. Guess who fucking forgot to hit record?
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm a genius. I'm just the purest genius ever. This is great. This is awesome. So
It's
welcome
amazing.
to whatever episode of Contempt this is, with special guest star Brandon, a content creator from the good old lands of Minnesota. Welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here. It's so nice to totally be saying this organically for the first time.
I remember, I was going to look down to look at audio levels for your end, to make sure you're not peaking, to make sure I don't have you turned up too much. And it just said, start recording. And I'm like, oh, shit. What would have been worse is getting to the end and then being like, oh shit, I gotta hit record. Anywho, content creation sucks a lot of dick. Would you agree?
It's very difficult if you want a quality product, yes.
I feel like too many people, especially us millennial folk, are too focused on the Sigma grind set of trying to play the game of YouTube or TikTok or whatever.
It's very much the evolution of the Protestant work ethic from the olden times. We've just kind of transferred it over to the internet now.
I think I get where you're coming from. When I think of nomads finally settling down, I think of YouTube.
Yeah, when they finally hit Plymouth Rock, they're like, you know what? It's time to fucking set up a real base YouTube channel.
The 40-hour work week was invented in like the mid 1900s. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, the fact that unions were the only reason that we were able to get any kind of weekends at all.
Oh man, I hate everything. But I don't know. It's the best system we can hope for right now, so I'm fine with it. I mean, there's always better, but they're all theoretical dreams. But that's not what the podcast is about. Well, in part it is, I suppose. I mean, in a sense. The whole grind set and trying to play the YouTube game or the TikTok game, Instagram game is toxic. It's just awful.
It's a mindset that keeps telling people that they're never doing good enough, and it creates this sense of having to prove yourself constantly, which is what burns out even the best creators that come up every few years.
It's too much sometimes. But at the same time, it is nice having that motivation.
Motivation is different than the forced ideal that if you don't keep going, you're going to fucking sink.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to the whole, we gotta release a video every week, or we gotta release a video every day, or we gotta release 2-3 videos a day, it's a little toxic in the sense that you're really pushing yourself a lot more than you should or that you need to.
Yeah, it's unnecessary to have to force yourself to go through such huge trials for, when you look at the grand scope of things, for most people, very little gain.
What kind of content do you produce, or what do you create?
Well, currently at the moment, I have been on a streak of creating a D&D live play show for the past 6 or so months.
What's a live play?
A live play is when you record a D&D session or any tabletop RPG session as it is happening. Usually, live plays, to my knowledge, are referring to when you have a camera either recording the players in DM or GM, or when you're recording Roll20, but mine is purely just a podcast format.
So audio only, really.
Yeah, I have one picture that I commissioned.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. You should send that to me when you get the chance. You can do it later if you want. That'll be the thumbnail. I'm gonna steal your commission.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I love you, buddy.
It's great that you bring up commissions. Like, when you think about putting money into hobbies, you probably think of, like, everyone has that one hobby that they sink a lot of money into. But content creation becomes that hobby, and then also it just becomes the second job.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's weird. It's almost like hobbies and the things that we enjoy should be the things that we focus most of our time on and that we want to focus most of our time on, but we never get the chance.
Yeah, that's part of it. How much, if you don't mind me asking, how much money have you sunk into your channel or your internet presence as an artist or a creator?
Oh, like in every project ever I've done?
I'm talking about everything from the start to right now. So your microphone setups, your what you might have bought, like the commission, for example.
Because I've done other writings, like my other comic books that I've commissioned. Should I factor all that in as well?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, you're trying to create out of that. So in a sense, yes.
Fuck. Okay. That's going to boost the number up. Fuck me.
Again, if you're not comfortable talking about it, that's okay too. I know some people are a little more tight-lipped about it.
Oh no, it's just I'm just trying to remember all the things I've spent money on over the past several years. Oh fuck. Got mics, headphones, that commission work. I would say somewhere between $35,000 and $4,000.
Okay. So 35 to 4K.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
For a hobby, that's not awful. I know people who, I know of people who buy train sets where people spend hundreds on just little train sets, and then they build a little town and they have a little railroad, and that costs thousands too.
Oh yeah, I know my brother has his whole setup with telescopes and microscopes that he has that is really high end and state of the art.
It's just too bad our hobby is one of the more expensive ones.
Because our hobby got monopolized.
Oof. It kind of does suck that YouTube has no competition.
Remember E-Bomb's World?
No. I remember Newgrounds.
Of course!
Shout out to Newgrounds.
I know Blip TV was a big thing.
Blip TV, yes. I don't remember visiting it much though. What was it?
That was an aggregate website, I believe, for, I probably used that term wrong, for a bunch of creators. I know the biggest one was Channel Awesome.
Oh, that guy with the glasses. Oh, good old Doug.
Yeah, let's have an entire podcast talking about how Doug not only inspired an entire generation of critics and art fetishists, but also ruined them at the same time.
Oh, poor Doug. If only he had the foresight to know how absolutely massive a Channel Awesome would become and the subsequent downfall thereof.
If only he wasn't a complete asshole to his friends.
I feel like Doug is a nice enough guy. It's just he's kind of a little naive and ignorant.
I mean, I will never forget the whole turn the channel or change the channel debacle like 5 years ago now, I think it was.
Right.
That whole, like, as someone who directs, I don't mean to get into a subject that you might not want to get into, just in case.
Oh, hold on, my cat wants the window open.
Oh no.
There you go, kitty. Now there's gonna be crickets in my recording.
Oh, that's great. It's great ambience.
I feel like Doug, Mr. Doug, has the best intentions of everyone at heart. He's just kind of a buffoon.
I wish I could agree. I keep thinking back to like the stories when he filmed his first movie in the desert, and like, to my knowledge, I could be recalling a few things wrong, so please take this with a grain of salt, but apparently, like, he chuckled off the idea that they would provide refreshments for the actors. Like, basic necessities, and like, they had them film like 12 hours a day or something.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh,
Could be
Doug.
completely misremembering that.
I feel like, as with any, like, was that Kick-Assia?
I think so.
It was his first, like, big kind of movie where it's like Dougie was trying to become a director in sense, and, well, in the end, he did technically become a director. But, I mean, it was his first outing. He gets a little bit of leeway just because it was his first outing. Poor Doug.
Poor Doug.
Have you seen To Boldly Flee? It's the 3.5 hour one, or the 3 hour one.
I was a huge fan of Channel Awesome at the time. I watched it the second it dropped on the site, each part.
Oof. I watched it all in one sitting.
Oof.
We have a review. I'll link it in the description either way. But me and Aiden and Connor watched it all, and it was just really hard to sit through. Oh. But yeah,
It was masterfully done.
it was a masterful movie. A masterpiece to rival Citizen Kane.
Oh, right up there.
I wonder, just offhand, how much Doug has spent in his career as the Nostalgia Critic.
Oh, God. He has a full studio that he has now. So, definitely at least, if not several 100,000 in the millions.
How much do you think he pays those two actors, the comedic foils to his reviews? Malcolm and the other one.
I feel so bad.
I feel bad for her too, until I remember it's a job. I mean, they're actors. They gotta do what they gotta do to pay the bills.
I mean, if they can afford to live in Chicago off of this salary, I'm guessing it's a fairly decent amount.
Isn't it weird to think that Doug is only like a 6 or 7 hour drive away?
I find it funnier that Linkara is like an hour drive away.
Oh, Linkara. I'm inclined to agree that Doug has probably spent a lot of money on the channel from its conception, how many years ago? A decade. And that was back in the times where it was hard to get like a camera, just in general. You would have to pay a lot for not that much when you think about it.
Yeah, most people just use the built-in camera on their laptop.
I guess that's kind of what made Doug stick out.
Yeah, I mean, Doug went to film school, so he had that basic idea and a basic level of credibility that got people to at least listen to him to begin with.
And once he got him hooked, he kept him around because he was one of the few reviewers who was able to rip the movies and use clips and footage. Which was not very common on the platform circa 2010, back when Darkside Phil was doing Let's Plays by recording the TV screen with a camcorder.
Oh yeah, I remember the entire time thinking it was fucking magic how he was doing that. How any of the reviewers, how Angry Video Game Nerd was doing that too.
It's insane. Back then you had to use a dongle. I found one the other day at Goodwill, and I bought it just out of nostalgia in case I ever wanted to record 480p footage of my PS2 games. But thinking back then, that was like $100 right there.
Yeah, I got an easy cap set up because I wanted to record my Wii game that I was playing, and that didn't work.
I remember this was back when Rainbow Six Vegas 2 came out on the Xbox 360. So whatever year that was, but I remember getting a dongle or whatever they're called, and the cord was too short, so I couldn't record anything without a laptop. So I just returned it.
Oh,
But who would have watched me play Rainbow Six Vegas 2?
I don't know. During that time, I wouldn't doubt if there were plenty of people that want to, check out either favorite or niche games at that time.
Nowadays, you just Google a retrospective and you're set, really. You get like 10 options right there.
We did have a conversation a little bit before about how getting into a similar situation like Doug or Linkara or anyone on Channel Awesome or that guy with the glasses is pretty much impossible now.
Yeah. Do you want to explain why it's a little harder nowadays?
Well, I mean, the whole idea behind the character reviewer, like the angry reviewer or the snarky reviewer or the, very fanciful reviewer, any of the kind of character reviewer thing is something that you had to get in on the time that it was a thing, because now trying to start up now makes you just look like a copycat, and anyone that started up before and is still doing it has just not gained enough traction to ever gain a consistently large audience. You had to find that nice sweet spot that Doug, I guess, made for a number of different people. And at this point, you have to get incredibly lucky to get a modicum of that same kind of traction.
What's the saying? Born too early to explore the universe, born too late to be popular on YouTube.
Oh god.
I can't remember who from Super Best Friends. I believe it's Matt McMuscles, but it could have been Patrick. But one of them had stated at some point, they were asked, how do we get into the YouTube game? Like, how do you become a YouTube Let's Player? And his advice was, you need to start 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some truth to that. I mean, back in the day, it was novel to have gameplay footage. Like I said, Darkside Phil was recording with a camcorder. He was recording the TV with his camcorder. But nowadays, you can just get OBS, and OBS will record whatever you need it to record.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, it's fucked up to think, but YouTube and the internet is the new Hollywood. Like, you need to know someone now in order to be anything here.
Yeah.
It is no longer the land of opportunity, it is the land of nepotism.
That's just how it goes.
I mean, anything that you can think of, someone has been doing it longer than you, with better equipment than you, and has already a following that has been behind them for longer than you've even contemplated doing this idea.
Right. Any market of creativity, whether it be artists who paint, artists who do music, producers, and artists who do video, there's always going to be that oversaturation that eventually comes and swamps the market. The advent of OBS is amazing, but it also meant that any kid can just record their computer screen now. They can do their Minecraft Let's Play.
Yeah.
And the oversaturation makes it harder to find the people who, the people who will be better, who put more effort into their videos, who try their hardest, but now nobody can find them.
It's funny that we talk about oversaturation, because the thing that I'm doing right now with D&D live play is a perfect encapsulation of that idea, because every motherfucker with a goddamn microphone and with 3 friends is recording and posting their D&D show. Which is why I've gone into it just doing this for fun. And if something good comes of it, good. And once I feel more comfortable actually doing this, maybe I will put more effort into editing or recording or doing something to make it stand out. But at the moment, it's basically just trying to create a resume, if you will.
I think that's probably the healthiest way you can go about a career like this, is that it's not a career at all until you feel it is. Too many people are really obsessed with the whole grinding, like I said, needing to get that video out as soon as possible all the time, but treating it more like a hobby, like it's kind of supposed to be. Treating it as a fun little exercise to do now and then is way better for you and you as a person. I mean,
the problem that lies the grind part is when money becomes involved. I mean, once the idea that your rent can't be paid if you don't make a certain quota of video, of content minutes or hours, everything goes out the window in terms of actual enjoyment. And now this has to become a job. You have to grind, you have to get it done, you have to get it done now, you have to get it done fast, because you want to be able to stay in a house or an apartment.
It should be treated like a part-time job until you get to the point where you can support yourself fully off of that kind of income.
Oh yeah, it should be, but people dive so headfirst so quickly into becoming a full-time content creator that that goes into a whole nother discussion about the American workplace and how absolutely god-awful it is, but we can't get into that discussion or we'll be here another 3 hours.
You don't want to neglect yourself just to chase the dream. You got to be realistic. It's really good that you are kind of being more realistic about this and being, more casual before you get serious.
Yeah, the whole thing is meant to be just kind of a fun exercise for the friends and I that are in it at the moment, just so we can get kind of used to it and just have something that we make, and we might not make anything off of it, but we can look back on and say, hey, that's ours, and get pride from that.
To have created something and now you have record of it, and you can just rewatch it if you feel like rewatching it or reliving a moment.
Yeah.
Plus, if something funny happens, you can always just replay that too.
They made my big bad demon guy turn into a dog, so that happened.
How many episodes have you created?
I believe it was, of the main series, there was 23, and then we had a 1-shot last Saturday, and then we're doing a 2-shot the next 2 weeks, and then we're returning to the main campaign after that.
So quite a few.
Oh yeah.
How long do your sessions usually go on for?
It started off only being around 3 hours, 3.5 hours to maybe 3 hours and 50 minutes, and now it's gone up to 5 hours and 50 minutes, almost 6.
Geez, 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Did you prefer it when it was shorter, or do you kind of enjoy it now that you got longer sessions?
I do like the longer sessions. I just feel like I'm dragging my players through it sometimes. Like, I'm making them play longer. They are 100% supportive and they love playing, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm taking up their whole evening.
Have you ever once thought about how much data and space you're taking up on the YouTube servers?
On the YouTube servers? No. On my computer? Yes.
God. And you just record audio, but do you just use OBS, you said?
Yes.
So do you record video or just MP3s?
Well, it's in a video format, so I can upload it to YouTube, but it's primarily just the audio and the one picture I commissioned.
But even then, I mean, that's still quite a lot of video.
Yeah.
God, that's another thing. when you create long form stuff like we do, I mean, it takes up a lot of space in your hard drive. I've got 6 terabytes and most of it's already full.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Shout outs to anyone who watched part 1 of my Dead Rising video. Part 2 will be in 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Let's see. Here's the aspect that I like to tackle is the motivation is nice, but I still feel like I'm allowed to get away with being lazy too much.
How so?
I feel like there should be a timer on your YouTube channel, and if you don't upload in 2 months, you should be executed.
Oh my god.
They should delete your channel if you don't upload in 2 months.
Oh, that fucking reminds me. On my main YouTube channel that I've had since I think like 8th grade,
Yeah.
I've posted such a variety of bullshit on it. The videos I enjoyed the most were of these mime videos that I created, in which I made a black and white filter on my 1080p webcam that I cut out the audio, and I just did a random physical humor skit for like 2 minutes at most.
Mm-hmm.
And that was by far the most fun I've ever had making content ever.
Oh, that's good to hear. Is it still up? Is it still on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
You gotta send me the link, and I'll definitely put it in the description if you're not embarrassed about it. I know hindsight's 2020.
Oh no, I love that shit. It was so goofy and silly. I wish I had the energy to do that again.
It's a lot easier when you're younger to get videos out consistently.
Well, you're still filled with hope.
Oh, too real. And when you're younger, you're just bursting with creativity, and yeah, it's way easier to come up with video ideas, and then you have all this energy, so you get them done in a week, and boom.
What's your most viewed thing you've created?
Llamas with Hats, Carl Overload, which was a YouTube poop that I made when I was really young. This was 12 years ago, I want to say. It's still up. I relisted it. It was unlisted for the longest time, but then I relisted it. Yeah, 12 years ago, 113,000 views.
Oh.
The only reason it got that many views is because everyone was just like, oh, Llamas with Hats is really funny. I wonder what else people have done with it. And then they find my video.
You want me to confess to you a secret I have?
Okay, sure.
I had a video with over 1 million views on my YouTube channel.
Ooh, what happened?
I deleted it because it's horrible.
What was it?
It was a police taser compilation.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, it was. The more I looked at it, the more I'm like, am I a bad person? And then I answered my own question and said, yes, I am.
Oh, I bet you wish you caught it or kept it up.
No, I deleted it because I genuinely felt like I was just. It might have gained a lot of views, but for one, it gained views from people I did not want watching my content, and it made me feel bad about what I created. The more I looked at it, the more I just saw like a much darker kind of way to get popular and famous and have any kind of notoriety is to use something that's so ugly.
So it's kind of like the exploitation side of YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, all I did was type into YouTube tasers, took videos I found, uploaded them to my computer using the YouTube downloader app, and I just put it in Windows Movie Maker, compiled them together, and that was it.
I did something similar. If you remember the Gmod idiot box.
Yeah.
This was a while ago. This was back when Gmod animations, quote unquote, it's stop motion animation. It was back when they were popular, and I took something from like episode 10 of the Gmod idiot box, and I uploaded the clip to my channel, and it got like 10,000 views in like 2 days. And I remember somebody wrote, I got a lot of comments like, "Oh, this is so funny. This was the funniest skit." And it was this is what I do. I sit on you. That skit with the boomer from Left 4 Dead. I remember I got one comment that was like, "This is absolutely disgraceful that you steal other people's content and upload it to your own channel." And as a kid, that shook me. I'm like, what? Oh my God, he's right.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And this was, I want to say, 10, 12 years ago too, and I was a little baby, a little 17-year-old, little 16-year-old, and I was like, oh no, he's right. I should never do this ever again, and then I never did.
Oh, you got real scared there.
I was terrified. Oh. It's kind of random what gets a million views these days, isn't it?
I hate using the word random because in today's internet with the algorithms and the picking and choosing of the prized horses that these websites have, it feels weird to say anything is random because it feels like everything is plotted out unless there's a huge fucking fumble from someone up top.
That's probably true nowadays. Nowadays, there's probably a team at YouTube whose whole job is to chase the trends and put that trending video page, update that every day.
I was just gonna say, remember when the idea of like someone like Jimmy Kimmel or like any celebrity posting a video on YouTube would be like fucking weird?
That is weird, isn't it? The thing about YouTube is it's completely for the nobodies, the people with nothing, no following and anything.
And now it's just purely, hey, do you want to know what The Rock is doing today?
With that video of Susan Wojcinski saying, "I'm gonna make my own YouTube channel."
Oh, fuck off. God damn it, now I'm angry. Oh, that was the single most infuriating fuck. And then a bunch of people making the response videos just being like, The fucking Rock, I think, said, just be yourself. Just be yourself and you'll do great. Oh. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. I think YouTube has always been for the people, not for the corporations. It certainly feels random what gets picked, though. I mean, I'm looking at the videos on my channel, and sure, a lot of my old Halo Forge videos got lots of views, but that's because, they're from 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when Halo Reach was a huge thing. Oh, my working at Jimmy John's video has 8,000 views for no reason.
Workplace videos and stories do pretty well, though.
Yeah, I mean, working from Walmart has almost 2,000 views. Working at Perkins has almost 1,500. So, I mean, that's nice.
What is your most consistent project in terms of view count?
I think, sadly, the You Should Play series is consistently low, but it's the only one that's consistent. I remember You Should Play, I started just because I was kind of bored during COVID times. back when I was out of my job, so I just started drafting up this idea, and then I release the episodes and they get like 100 views, and I put so much work into them. I hate to humble brag, but I put so many hours. But for some reason, the You Should Play Naruto Clash of Ninja 2 video has more views than all the others. It's sitting at 800.
It's the weebs.
I should just play Naruto games, make videos about them.
Just become a Naruto fucking game channel.
Oh, when you're starting out, when you have less than 1,000 subscribers, every single person is important to get to subscribe to you. But I feel like nowadays, I'm not getting random subscribers. These are people I'm meeting and people I'm sharing videos with. I mean, I'm almost at 550, and that's halfway, and that's great, even though I've been doing this for 12 years. But the most recent subscribers I've gotten have all been from like people on Discord servers where I'm like, hey, check this out, or like, hey, I do videos with my buddies for Ready or Not and Ground Branch and GTFO, and it's like they subscribe to me, and it's important. It means a lot.
You want me to piss you off?
Go ahead.
How many subscribers did you say you had?
550. Almost.
You want to know what those taser videos got me? Current subscribers. Yeah, 1,241.
That's amazing.
From my stupid goddamn taser videos.
How do you feel about that?
Not good. Not good.
Not good.
I don't like having, like, I have so much stupid shit that I had to I'm checking my channel again because I have not looked at it in a while, and I think I put a lot of videos on unlisted because I just wanted this fucking channel to go. Yeah, I put a lot of videos on private because I didn't want to look at them anymore. I didn't feel happy or satisfied with what work I did do.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, especially looking back on old videos, it's so easy to delete them or get rid of them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I've always kind of felt that you should keep up your old videos even though they suck. Although I'm a bit of a hypocrite, I still have plenty of videos that are privated and unlisted, but it shows improvement when you look at a video from 12 years ago and you think, oh God, I used to be such a horrible editor. What do you think? Would you prefer to have kept up your old videos?
I mean, I don't think I should view a handful of my old videos. Like, the Mime videos, I'm still extremely happy with. They make me happy. For one, it's my voice, because I do not like my voice, and I don't like listening to my voice. I cannot put into words how absolutely frustrating it is to hear such a different voice come out of my mouth and then hear the voice that is on the recording.
Right.
It sounds so much different, so nasally and high pitched, and like I'm not even enunciating anything. And that does make editing audio for me hard, which is why I like the Mime videos, because I didn't have to do that.
I'm of the camp where I love the sound of my own voice. I'm a bit of a narcissist, you see.
Well, you have a smooth, deep voice. So
I doubt that.
Good. I doubt that.
I remember when I first heard my voice, I'm like, ugh, gross, ugh. But nowadays, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Cut it out. No, I listen to myself and I'm like, I love listening to me talk. It's great.
I like the words I say. I just don't like the voice that carries them.
You can do a little to kind of tweak your voice around, but yeah, you're kind of stuck with what you're stuck with, and that sucks. As a concept, not that you suck specifically.
I was about to say, I know what you mean, Grant, but also fuck you.
I don't know. There are a few voice actors who are for real voice actors that I respect greatly, and I listen to their voice and I'm like, damn, I wish I had a good voice like that. But part of it is just practice and learning to how to use your voice to its fullest extent.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, speaking of voice actors, you can't be in my line of work, if you want to call it, with live plays and not be very familiar with a very prolific group of voice actors.
Are you talking about Matt Mercer?
Yeah, Matt Mercer and his Critical Role group.
I've had that recommended to me countless times. I'm never going to watch it. But the concept is interesting.
It's a lot, but it's really fun, and it does give you good ideas on how to incorporate certain things into your game. But then again, some people, this actually might be an interesting little side tangent, where people expect, because you are making similar content, that you have to meet the same level of quality in order to be considered even something that should have any modicum of attention paid to it, which a lot of people have dubbed the Matt Mercer effect, which isn't his fault in the slightest, but some people, when they learn about Dungeons and Dragons through Critical Role, they're like, oh, everything with this game is going to be like this high-end production, which it's not.
Yeah, I kind of get that. The fact that it became popular, it got a lot of kind of funding behind it wherever it came from, and now it's this big production, doesn't necessarily mean that all the people who are making similar content have to meet that level. And in fact, it should be celebrated that it doesn't have to.
I mean, it's also, like, I don't know if you know this, but Critical Role, I believe last year, was the #1 Twitch channel in terms of revenue.
Goddamn.
Making like 3 million or something like that.
Imagine if somebody came to you one day and they're like, I'm gonna make you the most popular Twitcher ever, and they just give you $3 million.
I always hated the term Twitcher. That always sounded like someone that sounded like something from a Family Guy skit. Hey Lois, I'm gonna become a famous Twitcher today.
I hate the term content creator. I hate the term influencer, but it's kind of what we're stuck with at this point.
Damn Gen Zers.
Goddamn Zoomers.
Everyone's bad except us.
But yes, it's nice to have the people that don't put effort, that don't put that amount of effort. Because not everyone needs to put the 500 hours of workman power into their episodes like Matt Mercer does. Some people can just have fun and be entertaining with lower effort.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little bad putting Matt on the spot like that. But, yeah, he and his crew, I am so glad, are able to do what they do. But there is the whole idea of we as a community, or as a group of people that make similar content, just have to realize that there's going to be a gap in between certain things that we present to our audiences, and that is fine. That is okay. It is us, ourselves, our personalities, and our own twists that make our own shows special. And that doesn't take away from anyone else, and that doesn't make us bad for not including anyone else's twists or varieties.
There can be a nostalgia critic and an angry video game nerd. There can be a Cinema Sins, and there can be a whoever does something very similar. I have no idea.
Cinema wins.
Yeah. That's a bad example. There can be a AVGN, and there can be an irate gamer.
God, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
You know, he does ghost shows too.
Oh, he does?
He's a ghost hunter. It's a really high production for something nobody watches. That's not me being a dick. That's literally, it just doesn't get many views.
I have to look that up now.
But anywho, now that we're nearing that hour we planned, is there anything you wanted to say or anything you wanted to talk about that we might have missed?
Just when it comes to making something, I think, again, I mean, you hammered in the subject pretty well yourself, but just do it so it's fun, and do it so that you can manage it with the rest of your life. And then once you've become comfortable enough to grow in that field, whatever it be, whether it be writing, whether it be video making, whether it be whatever, once you feel like you're ready to grow, then grow with the pace that you are comfortable with. Don't try to force it, because the moment you try to force it, it's the moment that no longer becomes a hobby, it no longer becomes a passion, it becomes a job. And once you are trapped in another job, something that you loved before, you're going to be out not only the peace of mind of being able to retreat to something that you loved, something that you could escape into, you're going to be out of a job, because most likely that thing that you're going to be doing and forcing is not going to bring you the financial success that you are looking for.
It's a very good way to put it. Do you want to plug your channel real quick?
Check out my D&D stuff on a channel called Tion2 on YouTube.
I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah. And then on my 653 channel, you can find my old fucking amazing Mime videos that I still love to this day.
All right, pretty cool, pretty awesome. Is there anything you wanted to say before we end it? You know, our suicide pact.
Yeah, but just, you know, I have the Kool-Aid right next to me.
Poison is not how I want to go. We did not agree to this.
Slow, painful, and burning. Just remember to keep what you love, and don't make it something that you will eventually hate.
Right on. This has been content contempt, or whatever I call it. Thank you for listening. Now start counting to 10.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there. That'll be an easy synchronize at the end.